Today we have an incredible appliance that we have found invaluable in our own home.
Oh, it's one of our favorite appliances because it's so versatile, and it creates one of the things that we really need, really hard for us to buy sometimes.
Milk. We love almond milk. We love cashew milk.
But the almond milks that you buy in the store, they're full of sugar sometimes, and they're processed. And so to get a raw, fresh almond milk is just wonderful. And the Soyabella makes it easy. Because you can make almond milk in Vitamixes and Blendtex, but you have to strain it, and it's a little bit of work. This Soyabella just is wonderful for making those milks at home.
Throw out those nut milk bags. You don't need them anymore. They're much easier to make. This is such an incredible opportunity.
Yeah. So we're going to make some almond milk today, and we soaked our almonds.
We sure did.
And so we have about a cup of almonds here. And so we'll take them and put it into our container. Make sure I'm using the right one. Yep, it's a soybean.
In our house, I'm the one responsible for taking the almonds out of the freezer and making sure that they've been soaked overnight. And I almost always give too many almonds.
Yeah. Well, once they expand, so if you put it in here first and then you put the water on, they start expanding, and so you become surprised at how full it gets.
So you never need quite as many as you think.
Now, we're putting dates in to sweeten it up, but if you weren't putting the dates in, you could put more almonds in, and then that would just make a thicker milk. So we're taking 4 medjool dates, and I've already removed the pits from these. You want to make sure you do that, or you could have some grinding going up at the same time.
You could also add, if you choose to, a small segment of a vanilla bean, and that would add a vanilla flavoring along with the sweetness to this milk. And boy, does that milk taste good.
It really does taste wonderful that way. This is probably the most awkward part of getting using the Soyabella, is just getting that blade back down through the nuts after you put it in there. But once you get it in, it sits in place. And the only thing else we need to do is put our water in there. And so we use distilled water. And you'll notice that there's some lines on the back of it. And you fill it up to whichever level you want to. If you want it to be a thicker milk, you fill it to the lower level. If you wanted a thinner milk, you put it to the top level, the higher level. So you put it in. And on the top there are 3 buttons. One says milk, one says mill, and one says paste off. And for making this milk, we want to use the mill button. We don't want to use the milk one, but we want to use the mill one. And we'll push it 5 times. It'll run into cycle. And at the end of the 5th time, it'll be ready for us. And after the 5 times, you really just can pull this out. And I usually let it drain a little bit so I can get the rest of that milk out. And then what you have is a wonderful, nice, white, creamy, frothy milk.
So you have no squeezing of the milk bag, of the nut bag. It is no longer a mess like it used to be when we were younger and we didn't have this really neat appliance in order for us to make nut milks. Much easier. Boy, this was a gift.
And so sometimes we'll make the nut milk and we'll store it in the refrigerator for 2-3 days.
We use them in our smoothies. You can also use them with your hot or cold cereals. You can drink it just as you would any other type of milk. Quite a versatile way for you to have quality milk.
And as we used almonds here, you can use cashews. We don't necessarily soak the cashews before we do it in the cashew milk. Anything else on the milk?
No, it's pretty neat. We really love it.
It really is nice. So what do you have over here?
I'm going to make some soup.
Oh, soup in the Soyabella?
You want to grab this for me?
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, sir, we're going to have some soup today. Interestingly enough, the Soyabella does more than just milk. It will do some soup. So we're going to start with adding some of the types of ingredients that you would probably enjoy with soup. This is actually a recipe that's in that very owner's manual. So what we have is we have a cup of broccoli florets, and they've been chopped up rather fine. We also have a small carrot that we sliced into small pieces. We also have a small red or white onion, and it has been chopped up rather fine as well. And we also have some black pepper. You can take this to taste. In this case, it's about 1/4 teaspoon. You can go higher or lower depending on what you like. From this, As Paul stated earlier, there are 2 lines on here, so you're going to fill the water up to that bottom line. In this particular case, it will be the bottom line. That's about right. Believe it or not, that's all you're doing. And then from there, you add your lid. And this particular time, instead of using the milk or the mill, we're going to use the paste button. Now, when I turn this on, it is going to stay on for 15 minutes. And at that point, we're going to just let it go, and we'll be back in just a few minutes after the 15 minutes, and we'll show you what it looks like. Boy, this is all done now.
Oh, it smells good. I can't wait to try it.
Just as an FYI, when you do press the paste button, don't expect anything to happen immediately. It can take 30 seconds to a full minute before you actually hear some sound, but it will start.
This is a warm soup, and so it starts to warm the warming process, and it just takes a minute or 2 for it to do that.
Okay, so let's see what it looks like. I think I'll have you do it.
Okay. Just lift the blade out of there.
Here, I'll take that.
There you go.
Okay.
And this is really neat. You won't believe what a wonderful soup was just made in 15 minutes in this Soyabella.
This will equal about 3 cups of soup. So for the small family, or maybe if there are just 2 of you in a family, this is perfect. Now understand, there have been no herbs or seasonings placed in those, so we're going to do that right now.
Okay. Well, here we have a half teaspoon of unrefined sea salt, the Celtic sea salt.
Okay. Good.
And we have a 1/16 to 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, ground nutmeg.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And here's a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder.
Mm-hmm. Then I'm sure you can change that if you want.
I was going to say, we'd have to put a little more in there for
for
us. And if you want to, you can put a dash of oil in there, either flax oil or an Udo's oil. And so you could just put a little bit in there. That's probably plenty.
I'm sure.
And then we have some fresh parsley that we would put on top to garnish.
Just to garnish. And you can put it in your bowls, for your soup bowls, and then garnish with some parsley. What a beautiful soup this will make. And it is warm. This is a cooked version that you can do. So that Soyabella provides you with 2 options. You can make a raw milk, in other words, not cooked, which is what we do, and then you can go back and you can use the heating element and create a cooked version. So we'll keep the soup in the bowl right now and just garnish it with a little bit of fresh parsley.
It looks great.
Very attractive.